Good evening. A 5-year-old boy has been killed by his family's car as he played on the driveway.
Harry Patterson was with his brother when the accident happened. Tonight his father has spoken of the family's heartbreak.
He was a real individual in the true sense of the word, and I think that he would have grown up to be anything he wanted to be.
Also tonight, job rush. Is this a sign of the times? Hundreds queue for work as new figures reveal unemployment here is climbing.
Plus, sunken history. First pictures from the worst maritime disaster off the Welsh coast.
And after the Tour de France, how about this?
Yes, this is the Valley Challenge facing hundreds of cyclists as the Tour of Britain rolls into Wales.
Hello. The father of a 5-year-old boy killed after falling from the family car says he would have grown up to be anything he wanted to be. Harry Patterson and his brother were playing on the drive of their house at Alltwen near Pontardawe yesterday afternoon when the tragedy happened.
Harry was flown to hospital by air ambulance where he died from head injuries. The parents are now being comforted by friends and family, as our West Wales reporter Kevin Ashford reports.
He was a real individual in the true sense of the word.
A father trying to come to terms with the death of his youngest son. 5-year-old Harry Patterson was playing in his parents' car on the driveway of the family home in Alltwen near Pontardawe when it's thought the car started moving. Harry is believed to have leapt or fallen from the vehicle, hitting his head. Today his father spoke to reporters.
This is homework of Harry's here. That just goes to show what sort of child he was. It says, "My name is Harry. My favourite things at school, play with my friends." He's drawn a picture of the family and of his brother and of himself. And most importantly on the back here, things that concern me. Is there anything that sometimes worries you? He's written the word nothing. He was a very happy child. What happened was absolutely tragic.
Harry suffered severe head injuries. He was taken to hospital by air ambulance. The family's car has been taken away by police investigators. It's still not totally clear what happened, but everything is pointing to it being a tragic accident. Harry went to the village primary school. Counselling support is being offered there. The police are appealing for witnesses to try to piece together what caused Harry's death. Kevin Ashford, Wales Tonight in Alltwen near Pontardawe.
For the second month running, the number of people out of work in Wales has gone up. And today there was a stark picture of what that means as more than 500 people turned up at a job fair in the Rhondda.
Many of the young people who turned up at the event say they've almost given up hope of finding work. From Porth, Jane Solomons reports.
So many job seekers turned up at the Job Centre Plus event in Porth today, they had to wait until there was room to get inside the building. 600 people came to talk to employers about 200 vacancies.
We're only asking people to hand in forms today and then we'll start our recruitment in the next couple of weeks then.
More than a dozen employers were looking to recruit from those who've had a long and difficult search.
Very hard. I've been looking for nearly a year now and it's really difficult.
I just can't find any jobs, there's nothing out there. And where I live as well, there's nothing whatsoever.
A happier situation for the employers today. Argos were hoping to take on about 30 people.
As soon as the doors opened, we were covered in application forms and a lot of people really interested, so it's been great already.
I was blown away by how many people have turned up today. I wasn't expecting this amount of people, but we've recently done a recruitment drive and I had a phenomenal number of responses.
Once again, Wales is the nation with the highest unemployment in the whole of the UK. And it seems young people are particularly hard hit. Well, the doors opened here over an hour ago and already the queue is stretching up the street and growing by the minute.
I just want to work.
How hard is it?
Really hard. I've left school for a few weeks, months even, and I haven't got a job.
business experts say the latest job figures for Wales do nothing to increase confidence.
Undoubtedly, it's very disappointing news, and it just depicts, if you like, a snapshot of the economy which remains very fragile.
And no one's predicting job queues will shorten just yet. Jane Solomons, Wales Tonight, Porth.
A 4-year-old boy remains in a stable condition in intensive care after being pulled from the fountain pool outside Cardiff City Hall. He was taken to the University Hospital of Wales accompanied by his family yesterday afternoon. Investigations into what happened are continuing. Funds are being raised to help a former British Royal Marine who's in a coma in a Thai hospital. 39-year-old Steve Thomas was on the island of Phuket studying martial arts when he was involved in a motorcycle accident. His insurance company says it won't comment on the case, but his family claim they've been left to cover the cost of his treatment.
An inquest has heard that a worker at the Port Talbot Steelworks died after falling into molten waste. Kevin Downey lost his life whilst working at the plant in 2006.
Today, in a statement read by the coroner, his wife said he was seen as the font of all knowledge at the steelworks. Our correspondent Carl Edwards is at the hearing in Swansea. Carl.
Well, John, as you say, this is where the inquest opened today of 49-year-old Kevin Downey. Now, in the inquest so far, we heard that inside the plant, the then Chorus plant, now owned by Tata, he actually fell off a veranda. He was trying to move away from some very hot steam and he fell into this furnace. Now, this obviously happened in 2006. We hear that he was conscious for a time after he fell in, but obviously these temperatures in there are said to be up to 1400 degrees. He suffered horrific burns. As you say, he was a very well-known member of the community and of the staff at the plant. In fact, back in 2001, he was hailed a hero in the press and around the plant because he actually managed to turn off a furnace after an explosion which killed 3 other members of staff there, but it's thought his actions may have saved many more people. Now, we have had a statement from the bosses at the plant, of course now owned by Tata. They say that there's still great shock at what happened, a sense of mourning. It was tangible, they say, and that they are still very sad indeed. They add they won't be making further statements until a verdict has been reached. Tomorrow, the jury in this inquest are expected to hear from eyewitnesses. Now, they'll obviously be reliving some extremely traumatic, some harrowing scenes back from 2006 as the inquest continues here.
Carl Edwards in Swansea, thank you very much.
There are fears companies here may pull out of Wales if enterprise zones aren't set up. The plans across the border aim to encourage businesses to invest in selected areas around England.
But the business minister here says enterprise zones aren't a solution to all the challenges facing the Welsh economy, especially when UK government funding is just £10 million for Wales over 5 years.
But one county anxious for a decision is Flintshire. On the border with England, it will be surrounded by enterprise zones and is calling on the Welsh Government to make its plans clear, as our business correspondent Carol Green reports.
Fighting for business in a tough economic climate. This high-quality mixed martial arts gym has just opened on Deeside. Its owner hoping to attract clients from both sides of the border.
I set the business up 12 months ago and I spent probably 6 months looking around the vicinity of the northwest. You know, if I'm looking at it purely from a business perspective, it sort of ticks all the boxes. There's a need for it here.
With good communication links, Flintshire is well placed to attract new business. But with its nearest English neighbours in Cheshire and the Wirral declaring enterprise zones, attracting businesses down the A55 into Wales just got that little bit harder.
It's much to the success and the dynamic decision that has been made by the English government, and it just shows that perhaps Wales is dragging its feet.
Company leaders at the launch of Flintshire Business Week insisted enterprise zones are an essential marketing tool for Wales. The county has already earmarked land alongside the A55 on the border with England.
It's extraordinarily important for Deeside because we have got Wirral and Warrington on our doorsteps, and we do not get enterprise zone approval. And if we are not designated as enterprise zone, we will be in danger of losing some of our business people and some of our inward investments.
Enterprise Zone supporters point to companies like Kingspan. It came into Flintshire bringing hundreds of jobs when Delin was given special status in the 80s after the demise of the steel and textile industries. 30 years on, Kingspan and others like it are still significant employers here. Every country and region is fighting harder than ever for its share of inward investment. Flintshire says it's determined to make its open for business message heard at the highest levels. Carol Green, Wales Tonight, Deeside.
Still to come, Ruth will be here with the full weather forecast for you. Plus,
the lucky escaped pensioner says a big thank you to her rescuers.
And one for the pot. Ian's Swede is a record breaker, but what is his secret?
Now, it's both the oldest and now the newest working theatre in Wales. And in about an hour, the curtains go up on the revamped Theatre Colwyn.
Yes, with more than 100 years of history, Rob Shelley's been to see the difference almost £1 million has made to a piece of Wales's theatre heritage.
This place is so old it predates the invention of cinema itself. Audiences first took their seats here in the 1880s when seats cost a couple of pence and magic lanterns were a novelty. And now it's got a new life after a year's revamp hidden behind scaffolding. The curtain goes up here on Godspell tonight. Proof that the show must go on.
As soon as the windows were sort of exposed, because you had boarding up for a long time, they're wanting to be in there. They're champing at the bit to get them through the doors and be not so much nosy, but it's their theatre. You know, people from only a couple of miles away use this theatre an awful lot.
Some famous feet have trodden these boards in the past.
So when the curtain goes up tonight, this is going to be both Wales's newest and oldest venue, but it's also Britain's continuous oldest working cinema. When you think of all the flicks that have been shown here, it's quite a heritage.
You're unlikely to catch Charlie Chaplin showing these days, but as the signs went up and the final touches were finished, people were pouring through the doors.
Hello, I'm interested in a couple of seats for an Inspector Calls.
You've just walked through the foyer for the first time, now it's been done up. What do you think?
It's brilliant. It's dramatically changed from what we knew all these years, and I love it.
Theatre Colwyn survived when so many other towns across Wales lost their Palladiums and Tivolis and empires. Now the stage is set for a few more decades yet. Rob Shelley, Wales Tonight, Colwyn Bay.
A pensioner from West Wales has thanked two men who helped rescue her after she drove her car into a river.
Evelyn Jones struggled to escape after her car crashed into the River Amman last week. Today she said she feared for her life and that she was lucky to come away unhurt.
It was filling up with water then. I could feel the water coming in, you know. And it got as far as my shoulder. That's how far up it got. Didn't wet my hair at all. And after that, they just pulled me up onto, the ropes they had and whatever they had around me.
I think she might be framing that front page.
I think she might, yeah. Well done, Evelyn. Well, time now for sports, and Nick joins us. Busy day with the tour of Britain's cycle race heading across the country.
But I think you start with news from New Zealand.
Yes, and of course, thoughts now turning to that second pool game